if Democrats can run a few more moderate candidates, that might help them. And they may, even here in Florida with David Jolly, but Democrats could win. That's the whole thing. And Republicans, I don't know what they just don't seem to sit back in reality and realize what's the polling numbers. They think of what is all a bunch of fake polls.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I love a good conspiracy theory, and it is fun, Ed, to think about voter fraud, right? Let's go down that rabbit hole on a different day. But yeah, I do agree. I think that they're out of touch, and frankly, I think that when Matt was talking about the suburban moms, I mean, we're not talking about, you were mentioned, Ed, the grocery bill. These moms are going to the grocery store. They're getting formula, they're getting milk, they're getting eggs. They're, getting all this beef and turkey, whatever's in their grocery cart, just chips alone. I mean, I was looking at my grocery bill the other day. I was like, how is this $7 for a bag, this little tiny bag of chips? This is insane. So people are struggling to feed their families. And I think whoever is at fault for it, and there's a multitude of sins there from both sides, but whoever's in charge is going to take the fall. They're going to take the blame. So that's why Republicans should be terrified, and they should actually have a plan to roll out before Election Day that they're going to actually commit to.
You know what? Oh, I'm going to get Matt back here in a second. You know what a lot of this comes across, I've said this 1,000 times, is the president, and I support taking out the mullahs. I support taking out the trash in Iran. They've killed American soldiers. But can we just stop trying to sugarcoat what's going on? It is a war. You can't say it's a conflict, but say, oh, but they've been at war with us for 47 years. That doesn't sell, okay? And I don't know what intel that they know with what Israel gave them. I'm not one of those anti-Israel kicks. I don't go down that path. But the president's come out like for 40 plus times and says, we're close to a deal. We're close to a deal. We're close to a deal. Even, I mean, I'm watching Jesse Waters and some of those on Fox News going, you can't, this ain't selling. You got
the boy who cried wolf. You can't.
Yeah. And the president who says, well, I'm not on the timeline, but yet he's not doing which some Republicans wanted to do, just to bomb the heck. If you got to put boots on the ground, get the rich uranium, get everything and get the heck out. And he comes across, some have said like Obama. Obama was desperate for a deal that took 2 years. And Trump wants a deal. And Trump has said, I mean, the White House has said, well, if we start bombing again, then the Strait of Hormuz remains closed for another 3 to 4 months. Well, guess what? It's the month of June. Guess where that 3 to 4 months goes now?
Right.
Okay.
Right now, up to the election.
That goes to the election season.
Yep.
If you don't think, and I got news for you, nobody wants the Democrats to whatever. But if the war in Iran does not get taken care of, your argument, not your, I'm saying you're the proverbial, the general your, a voter fraud is not going to sell. It's just not going to do it, Lindsay.
No, I completely agree. Well, I think Trump has not made the case, the right case for Iran, and it's really hurting the country. It's really hurting his credibility. The story keeps changing. It was the nuclear weapons, and then it was ballistic missiles, and then it's intel from Israel. It's like I can't keep up with the story. And I follow this stuff pretty closely. I'm no expert by any means, but I drove by a billboard that was painted before the 2024 elections. I drove past it in Fernandina Beach yesterday, and it had Trump's sign, and it said "No inflation, no more inflation, and no more wars." Those were his campaign promises. Right. And what have we gotten? More inflation. It's going up, up, not stopping. And we're getting onto all these stupid wars. People don't want them. We're tired of it. I don't want to send our men and women over there. I know that, sure, they're bad dudes. There's a lot of bad guys in the world. It doesn't mean that we need to go over there and spend not just our blood, which is terrible. That's the worst part, but also our money, which we are bankrupt. Has no one realized this? We are bankrupt. We are trillions of dollars in debt, and that is not stopping.
I know the media is not a friend of conservatives. I know the media is not a friend of the president. And sometimes, he just, it was kind of neat watching him, he goes, after he left Kristen Welker from Meet the Press, pat her on the side. He goes, hey, I like you, but I'm out of here. Well, I don't mind the tough questions. I don't think we should mind it when we did it to Biden
Agreed.
and do it for Trump. I mean, I'm just
Agreed.
telling me maybe it's the
Make
way
it
how they
fair.
ask the question. I get it. But you're not going to win with the media. But I tell you what's going to end up happening. I think this is one of these, and kind of like you're a Nostradamus, or you look at certain things and what you can predict for the future. I think that if we are still in Iran and it's going into September, October, the media, of course, and by the way, the media, as much as they are of accomplices with the far left, they could not defend Biden when it came to spending. Follow me now. They couldn't defend Biden. So you can win over the media. But having said all of that, I think what's going to end up happening is that the media is going to come out and talk about the intel on the war, which I'm all in favor of. And I think they're going to try to talk about high prices. And they had to talk about it with Biden. You didn't need the media telling you. Everybody knew it was high prices. But I'm telling you, I think where this is going, and I'm just being totally blunt here, I think this is what's going to end up happening is that they're going to talk about, okay, it's the 11th hour, the October surprise. They're going to bring this issue up if they still believe it can hurt Trump. And this gets into a real question about, are we going back to the days of WMDs 20 years ago, where there are weapons of mass destruction? I've always said, yeah, they knew many of this was going over into Syria. That's what we were told. But we were also told then that when we went into Iraq, we would be known as liberators, which we were told before with Iran. And we were told we were going to find weapons of mass destruction. We didn't find them, what we were told to in Iraq. And then we started giving all these other excuses. Well, we're here to liberate people. We're here to,
spread democracy.
Yeah, we're here to, for oil. I mean, whatever. You can't keep spinning it. And the question that we have to keep asking is, I was going to bring Matt back in here, but the question that you've got to ask and you've got to bring in here is that, what did our intel know? Tulsi Gabbard's on her way out. And I hope her husband does well, but I don't think it's all based around her husband and a cancer. I've covered this too many times. Her intel department, they said we didn't have any proof that they had the rich uranium ready to go.
Yeah, and that's a big problem. I mean, I feel like, trying to just spin this over and over and over in different ways. I feel like they're almost trying to see what sticks. I don't think people are buying it. I think what Trump was so great about was that he really focused in 2024 about domestic issues, what was actually hurting real Americans. So the border he did shut, which is great. And that is probably his biggest accomplishment so far. I hope that there's more accomplishments, but the campaign promise to focus on real Americans, it has just gone out the window, I think, in most Americans' minds, because we're so focused on all these other countries and not focused on what is going on, what is hurting American families. And they are being hurt. They're being taxed to death. They're being inflated to death, if that's a thing. I mean, all of our grocery bills, like Amazon purchases, everything is going up. Tax or gas prices are going up. And frankly, people are tired of it, and it's like, I think people are just tired of the whole thing. They're tired of politics. And it's just lip service at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was going to bring Matt in here. I guess Matt had to get going here. By the way, this is a fascinating discussion. I like it. I like the conversation here. I like where a lot of this is going. And Matt still can't get his act together on the whole video here. That's got a little too funny here. I'm looking at some of this. So anyway, but this is where you have to look at some of this and you say, hey, what is happening? Where do we go? And how do you sit back and maybe try to avoid, I don't know if it's going to be a landslide. I don't know what's going to end up happening, but you got to avoid some of this. So, but anyway, we'll see where this goes. Well, listen, go to our YouTube page, subscribe, like it. We don't charge you anything. And then you can always reach out to me. Their emails are there at floridadaily.com. And leave us some comments. Tell us what you think. Lindsay, good show today as always. And we'll see you next time.